Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're turning our focus towards something you and I interact with, honestly, almost every single day: cold drinks. But look, we're not just going to sit here and tally up calories or read off ingredient lists. Over the next 7 minutes or so, our goal is to completely move past those simple marketing slogans and really build a wholesome, systems-level understanding of our daily beverage habits. We want to know exactly what's going on inside our bodies and our brains when we take a sip.
Let's kick things off with a quote that perfectly captures the core premise of the source material we're looking at today. Quote, "Cold drinks are a fast reward with a slower cost." Right? This one sentence is basically going to organize our entire journey. It sets up this absolutely fascinating biological reality that immediate, highly stimulating pleasure we get often carries some pretty delayed trade-offs. So, here's our game plan. 1, why they feel good. 2, what they actually do. 3, convenience versus cost. And 4, thinking wisely. Let's dive right in.
Section 1. Why cold drinks feel so good.
Okay, so let's peel back the very first layer of this onion. We got to start right at the surface with that immediate visceral sensation you get when you're seeking relief on a hot day. Imagine you're walking into an ice cream shop in Lahore on just a ridiculously sweltering evening. That first bite isn't just cold, is it? It feels like absolute relief. Well, cold drinks work in that exact same way. When you take a sip, you're literally getting hit with 3 simultaneous sensations. You get temperature relief, a super quick contrast against the heat. You get a taste reward, as the sugar and acidity just zap your brain's craving for quick energy. And you get mouthfeel. The bubbles, the chill, they make the liquid feel, well, alive. All 3 of these fire at the exact same time, giving your brain this massive, undeniable, "oh wow, this feels right" signal.
Section 2. What cold drinks actually do.
Now let's look a little under the hood. A cold drink is not just some simple liquid. It's actually the catalyst for a really complex chain reaction inside your body. And to understand this, we absolutely have to separate hydration from enjoyment. Think of it like this. Hydration is like your phone charger. It fulfills a fundamental biological necessity by giving your body the fluid it actually needs. Enjoyment, on the other hand, that's just your ringtone. It grabs the brain's attention, it feels super rewarding. Sweet flavors and fizz are fantastic ringtones. But, as we all know, a ringtone definitely does not charge the battery.
So, what actually happens when we add sugar into the mix? Well, you get a sugar spike. This is a super fast entry of sugar that rapidly raises your blood sugar and triggers insulin. Ultimately, that disrupts your body's preferred state of stability. I like to think about it using a bright flashlight analogy. Imagine you're standing in a pitch-black room and you suddenly flick on this massive, blinding flashlight. You get a sudden burst of clarity, sure, but that sudden burst completely lacks the steady, reliable glow of normal daylight. And your body? It absolutely thrives on steady daylight, not flashing bright lights.
Then we've got acid and fizz. The source text actually calls these the notice me signals. Imagine just tapping a glass table with your fingernail. It's a tiny sound, right? But it stands out instantly. Carbonation and acidity act exactly like that tap. They immediately grab your mouth's attention. But here's where that slower cost we mentioned earlier comes in. While that acid feels sharp and incredibly refreshing, repeated exposure carries the long-term cost of tooth wear. And since teeth simply do not regenerate like your skin does, that lively, exciting feeling comes with a very real physical toll over time. Now let's talk about caffeine and extreme coldness, because these elements are essentially just muting the low battery warming on your phone, rather than actually recharging the battery itself. Caffeine alters your perception by literally blocking the brain's tiredness signals. It just masks the fatigue, kind of exactly like how coldness masks the feeling of heat. But simply putting tape over a warning light doesn't magically give you more energy or actual rest. When we put all this together, we can see exactly what your body is trying to read. It's processing this incredibly dense bundle of competing signals piece by piece. The cold reads as a comfort signal. The sugar is fast energy that leads to spikes. The acid and the fizz, pure sensory stimulation. The caffeine reduces tiredness signals. And the fluid provides hydration. So a cold drink really isn't just one single thing, it's this dense bundle of competing signals that your body literally has to sort out all at once.
Section 3. When convenience becomes cost.
So why exactly do these drinks become such a huge part of our lives? Well, honestly, it comes down to massive decision relief. There is no cooking required, no waiting around, no planning, just immediate emotional satisfaction. When we are stressed out or rushed or just mentally completely drained, a cold drink offers an incredibly persuasive shortcut. It requires zero effort and gives you an instant reward. Who wouldn't want that? But let's see how this actually builds into a routine, because it always happens in a progression. It starts out as an event. You just have a drink once. Then, because it's so incredibly convenient, it turns into a habit. And finally, it becomes your default. A single, convenient shortcut slowly and quietly embeds itself right into your daily life until you're just reaching for it entirely automatically.
And this right here is a really crucial concept from our sources. A cold drink rarely just adds something to your diet. It actively displaces better, more nourishing signals. So instead of drinking plain water for hydration, we grab a sweet drink. Instead of eating a proper meal when we're hungry, we just grab a soda. Instead of getting real rest when we're completely exhausted, we just rely on caffeine. The convenience of it all actually pushes out the essential recovery your body is desperately asking for.
Which leads us to biological adaptation. The text brilliantly calls this the dimmer switch effect. Imagine your body is like a room with a dimmer switch. If you gradually turn up the sweetness, or the fizz, or the caffeine day by day, you just stop noticing the old setting. High stimulation becomes your new, completely unnoticed normal. Things that used to satisfy you perfectly fine, like a simple glass of plain water, suddenly feel totally inadequate, all because your baseline has fundamentally shifted.
To kind of ground this abstract psychology a bit, let's look at a specific example from the text. The Lahore University student. We've all been there, right? Relying on a 2 a.m. chilled soda to push through a massive assignment. Imagine a student studying late who buys that drink just to stay awake. Now, on the surface, it totally seems helpful, but underneath, that drink is actually morphing into an emotional coping tool for stress. The caffeine is masking the fatigue, the sugar gives this tiny, short lift, and the drink is literally standing in for the sleep and nutrition that student desperately needs.
Section 4, how to think about them wisely. All right, so now we're going to take all this systems-level thinking and actually apply it to our own lives. And importantly, we're going to do this entirely without judgment. The crucial point here is making a real shift in how we ask questions. We absolutely have to move away from asking, are cold drinks good or bad? That is just flat, binary thinking, and honestly, it doesn't help us at all. Instead, we need to adopt a diagnostic mindset and ask, what need is this serving and what is it replacing? Doing this shifts the power entirely back to you, because it's all about context, frequency, and truly understanding your own unique patterns. I want to conclude this explainer by leaving this single, thought-provoking question for you to ponder. The very next time you open the fridge and reach for a convenient cold drink, take just 1 second. Seriously, pause and ask yourself, what need is this drink actually serving right now? Are you truly thirsty? Are you maybe just tired, stressed, or bored? Challenge those defaults. By understanding the entire system behind the sip, you really empower yourself to make choices that truly serve your body. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep asking those great questions.